I'm Faith Hughes, and I'm going to be graduating from Columbia Central High School, and I'm going to be going to Columbia State, and then I'm going to be majoring in ministry in the areas of theology, philosophy, and apologetics. Oh, and my dad's going to be speaking for me.
Good morning. I told Faith she's going to have to bring some tissue. What she didn't realize is probably going to be for me. I found it interesting when our daughter was born, January the 1st, 1996, how her mother and I took on an additional identity. Less and less we were known as Troy and Lori Hughes, but we were known as Faith Mom, Faith's dad, and then later we became Tyler's mom, Tyler's dad. And I've had the pleasure of sitting where you sit and watching seniors come up and their parents taking on those identities. And I often wondered, what would I say when I came up here to talk about Faith's achievements and her future plans? So I started to pray about it, and then you ever had that time where God's really dealing with you and he wants you to say something? This was one of those times. So what do I want to say about Faith in these 3 minutes I have? Do I tell you about her work and dedication she put into the Columbia Central Band? Mr. Murphy's here. I see him this morning. That band schedule is grueling, not only for the student, but also for the parents. But it's well worth it. Or do I go back further and tell you how she was saved and baptized at an early age? Or do I tell you about her hard work, her good grades, and how she's progressed with a 3.0 or higher in high school, and how she's been accepted to every college she's put an application into and still has colleges pursuing her now? Or do I tell you how she's organized Bible studies in her home, where she's expected 3 or 4 people to come, and God sent triple that number on Friday and Saturday nights for a high school kid to have Bible studies? I just think that's wonderful. Or do I tell you about some of her recent achievements, being crowned prom queen or best all around by her classmates? Or do I tell you how the night before Valentine's Day, she sits up late at night writing scriptures on Valentine's Day cards so she can pass them out to her friends? I remember one night before Valentine's Day, her mother was looking through the cards, and some of them didn't have names on them. She said, "Faith, you forgot to put names on these." She said, "No, Mom, that's for people I don't know that God tells me to give them to in the hallway." Or do I tell you about how she's been approached by kids she doesn't even know in school, saying, "Faith, will you pray for these people for me?" Because she knows that they'll do it. Or do I tell you about the time she ministered and prayed with one of her fellow Guard members when she found out she lost her father at one of the ball games? We were in Marshall County, I remember it. I watched our daughter pray for this girl, and we ended up taking her to the hospital so she could see her father. And the whole time, my daughter's in the back seat praying for this girl. I watched God work through our daughter to minister to her grieving friend. You see, initially, I immediately thought about all the worldly things. I thought about the good grades. I thought about all our accomplishments in school. But God said, what really matters? Her mother and I are very proud of her worldly achievements, but we're more proud of those achievements that have an eternal reward. Because we believe when we get to heaven, there's going to be people coming up to us and saying, "We're here because of your daughter." She'll be starting at Columbia State this fall. She plans to go to a Christian college, and as she says, she's going to major in apologetics, philosophy, and theology. So by now, it shouldn't be any surprise when I asked her, "What do you want to do when you get older?" She said, "I want to help people know Jesus." This is the hard part. Faith, your mother and I are very proud of you and the young lady you've become. We know that God's hand is on you. And we thought about a scripture that we could recite, but we're just going to say, take the whole Bible, as you always have. That'll be your guiding light. We're proud of you.